It's the Bombers of Brighton and Spock, the old collegians, for round 15 in the Adelaide Footy League. Jack Moore alongside Matt Gale for a glorious afternoon down here at Brighton Oval. And with 3 rounds remaining after this, it is do or die, Matt.
Certainly is. This is relegation grand final day almost. Both sides pretty evenly matched. There's some holes there for Brighton, which we'll speak about a little bit later, but so much on the line, and these games, not just 4 points, they're worth about 8.
If you take a look at the ladder, you've got Broadview in 6th with 5 wins, and then Brighton in last with 3 wins, but that one draw. So 6th to 10th separated by a game and a half. So Spock come in 9th with 4 wins and 10 losses. As I said, 1 premiership point ahead of Brighton. So if Brighton can secure a home win, those positions will flip. And the fixtures to come this season, both teams with 3 left. A massive match for Brighton at Tea Tree Gully, who currently sit in 8th next week, and a tough fortnight to close against Port and Broadview. While for Spock, they go home to face Broadview next week, and a tough couple of fixtures to close with Glenunga and Port. So last week, these 2 teams had a differing fortune. That Spock goal after the siren to lift themselves up from the bottom of the table, while Brighton wasted a golden opportunity, kicking 5 behinds in the first quarter. Should have put the score on the board, but didn't, and lost to Payneham in the end by a few goals.
Let's have a look at the weather forecast today. We're chasing the top of 15 degrees, currently 13.9 degrees, feels like 10.3. A little bit nippier up in the grandstand, but beautiful sea breeze, which is going straight, probably on a slight angle from the playground through to the Sportal scoreboard. Won't affect either side with their goal-kicking capacity, but we've got a wonderful game on our hands here. We were here 2 rounds ago, which was the Brighton Sacred Heart game. This place was an absolute mudbath. Only 7 goals kicked. We've had a little bit of overnight rain, which has probably hardened the mud around the ground. They've rolled it magnificently. The place is looking superb and scintillating weather, and beautiful weather here for football on a winter's day at the first week of August.
These 2 teams met in round 6 at Caterer Oval at Spock, or St Peter's School, I should say, and on that occasion it was Spock recording a 16-point win. Michaels kicked 2 goals, Rivers for Brighton kicked 3, and Tarka with 2. A low-scoring affair, 9 goals to 8, 16-point margin. Spock were up 21 at quarter time and 16 at half time. In fact, at quarter time it was 21 to zip, and then 3 goals to 0 in quarter 3, and led by 39 points before Brighton came home with a wet sail, kicking 5 goals to 1 in the fourth quarter to cut that margin, but it wasn't enough. And Brighton this year under coach Brett Backer, who's spoken to us a few times on the call and in the pre-game, just incapable of playing all 4 quarters. They're really good in patches, but can they put on a 4-quarter effort today, Matt?
Interesting to see, because they're in matches all the time. 10 out of 14 games they've played them. They've been within 20 points either side of the ledger. They're batting above their batting average at the moment, with a number of key players out, including Wellsby and Otis Carthy, Jack Plenty and Keynes, probably all out for the season, with key attributes to this side. St Peter's, I've spoke to their coach, Michael O'Leary, before the game. He mentioned they're almost close to full strength for the first time this year. Big thank you to Filming Footy. Footy Stats powered by Dartfish. Filming Footy Sports Interactive, our broadcast partners, Adelaide Footy League. The Sport Enhanced Scoreboard. Dartfish bringing all your video analysis solutions. Farmers Leap for the proud sponsor of the Coach of the Week. Best on ground will receive those Archie thongs. And the snag of the day brought to you by Jag Meat Works. Off to the first bounce.
On the lookout for some Bianco marks of the week as well. We'll see if we can get some of those. But first clearance coming out of the guts, going the way of Spock. Just falls inside 50, coming out and dragged out. Might be an early free kick. Umpire Liam Binning tapping through our other field umpire, Rob Kane. And the first free kick going the way of George Walkerville Jr. 51 metres out. Bit too far out to score. Does the very intelligent thing, but the kick is not measured at all well. And cutting it off and finding Higgins. Out here was Jarman Cigar as Brighton come to the commentary side. 2 hands out in front by Book. One of the ins this week for the Bombers alongside Francis. As you mentioned, Matt Carthy, the captain, out, and Wellsby with a hamstring picked up last week against the Hawks. At Payneham, kick to a contest. Good hands in front and dragged down again. Will Rivers and Brighton have started smartly.
So Rivers drives the ball inside 450, looking for Tarka, 1-on-1, loves this situation. Ball comes to ground, well mopped up by Facey. So they managed to get out of the D50 for the time being. Good mark in the end to Rivers. Been in scintillating form. Too far out to score, looking for a target. Plenty of St. Peter's players behind the ball. Sizes up his options, heads to the hot spot. Plenty of numbers at the contest. O'Loughlin Johncock couldn't take the mark. Ball comes to the ground, clearing kick. Plenty of numbers back here. And well picked up by George. Just almost running on the spot in the end. George given plenty of freedom. Dribbles one off the shin pad. They come back here to Rivers again. Playing the quarterback role. Goes back to that hot spot to O'Loughlin Johncock and a 1-on-2. Comes out of the contest. Great roving and hits the post, unfortunately. I think we've had a Guernsey change there for that particular player, Jack.
Yeah, we'll check on that one for you shortly. Sporto and Hahn, Ultra Zero Carb. How good? Scoreboard. One behind. First score of the day to the Bombers. They started beautifully. Spock are pinned in their full back pocket. On the lookout for some goal scorers. Rivers has 23 on the season so far. Comes to that contest. There's Perry. He's tackled down hard, making no attempt to get rid of the footy in the eyes of the umpire. And an early free kick going the way of Charlie Allen, long sleeves, to tell him apart from Eddie Allen in the 37, captain for Spock today. They've turned it over, pressure on the kick, and it turns into a turnover. So Facey on the outer side, moving it smartly and gaining territory more than possession. Stuart Rattray comes out, boundary throw in, far side. It was just touched over the boundary line. So our boundary umpires today, Jacob Eichler and Zach Bold. Men with the flags, in fact men and women, Jonathan Owen and Annette Greenshields as our goal umpires. Thrown in, Lockwood engaged with Farquhar. He was in the team last week for his second game of the season. All locked up, ball up about 10 metres forward of centre for the Bombers.
So Farquhar up in ruck, been impressive. Last couple of games, third best player the last two outings. After his A-grade debut was some 700 days ago, going into round number 13. Quick kick out of this contest. Almost a Bianco mark of the week contender drawn in from the back. No mark taken. They've got out one out wide. So queuing up. St. Peter's with their first forward entry. Beautiful kick to Bedford. Couldn't take the mark. Umpires found a free kick for a push in the back. And Bedford would have to be about 30 out from home. Straight in front.
Yeah, you called it well. Player. You called it well, Matt. The hands were out in front to accept the mark, and the only reason he couldn't is because he got a slight nudge in the marking contest. Not much in it.
Not much in
any
it, no.
infringement in a marking contest, the umpire, especially in the first quarter, will look to set the tone early, and the players now know what to expect.
Certainly do. So Sheffield is that number 4. Number change from 36 to 4, but back to the action with Bedford. 9 goals for the season. Pretty important. He's kicked 5 early on in the season. Straight in front. And he's pretty pumped. He's slotted it straight through the middle. So Bedford strikes first for Spockos. St. Peter's Old Collegians 1 straight 6. Brighton 1 goal. 4.5 minutes down. First time on the Sportal scoreboard.
Ty Bedford, his 10th goal of the season. Walkerville Unley Jr. played some footy over in Perth at the waffle level in the reserves comp. Carlisle in the local comp over there, and here for Scotch, and played some footy at Sturt in the 18s and reserves. So a great start, just what Spock would have ordered. Coach Michael O'Leary, if you've heard his name before, he's a career coach. Old Iggy's, Adelaide Uni, Spock and Pembroke. Played some footy at Norwood and Sturt as well. Looking to guide his troops to another great escape. Here's Colley. Clearance found the chest of Charlie Allen. Moving it inside 50 now. Coming out, hands and knees. Getting a bit dirty. A few grazes on the knees, and Brighton look to repel. One of the things they found challenging this year comes to Colley, looking for a bit of bend. Just won't bend enough. And near sides. So the Sportal and Hahn Ultra Zero Carb scoreboard. Early goal for Spock. They move to 1-1-7 Brighton. One behind, margin of 6 points.
So beautiful kick in. Finds the chest there of Justin Evans. Goes on a 45 out wider. Finds Warner. Gets on that trusty left foot. Chips off one in the middle to Lang. Lang goes to the heart of the Brighton Oval. Dangerous kick. Well mopped off by Colley. Goes to Bedford. Started well. Off one step. Beautiful looking kick. Magnificent kick. and that'll set them up for goal number 2 potentially. So some great work, some positive ball movement, very aggressive by Brighton through the middle, but just chewed off a little bit too much fat. Quickly turned it over, clean set of heels, and Bedford and Stuart Rattray, who's been magnificent this season.
4 goals in his 10 games, the Paynham Junior.
So Rattray, close to the man on the mark, kicks from 45, tumble, punt, ugly looking kick, and rush through for a minor score by Evans. And it's 1-2, plays 1 straight point. And we're 6.5 minutes down first term. Sport on harm.
Here, of course, thanks to our sponsors, Filming Footy and Dartfish. Those Archies, best on ground, elite for your feet, comfort. We'll hand those out at the end of this one. Crunching pack on the outer side, just ducking the head slightly. Umpire called play on. Pretty good umpiring. Waiting for it. It's a goal. Goes in after it, stands up. It came out the bat. Hot start for Allen. Looking to get a lot of use out of him, and the clearing effort from Perry. High wide, not so handsome, out of bounds. Spock can reload. It's been played mainly in the Spock forward half in the past 5 minutes, Matt.
Certainly has. So left half forward here. Spockos go inside forward 50 for about the 5th time this quarter. Strong mark and courageous mark in the end. Plays on immediately. Goes out wide. Ooh. Looking for open pasture. Good switch. Could be Cossey. Hands in the hands of Cole. Coley goes short. Geez, he started terrifically well. And he's going to cost you, pay the price every time when Coley gets the ball in his hand, going inside forward 50. And another strong mark taken by Stuart Rattray. Sorry.
Yeah,
so Rattray, 6 best players out of 10 games so far this season.
One thing with Ed Coley, he's not going to misuse the footy. He's played for Wanderers in the NTFL, so he's a quality player.
So Stuart Rattray, that's a much better kick. Slots that straight through the middle. What a start by the Spockos on the Sportal Harn scoreboard. 2-2-14. Brighton Bombers, 1 solitary behind. We're just over 8 minutes into this first term, brought to you by Filming Footy. Footy Stats, powered by Dartfish. On a magnificent day, and this particular game, all sorts of ramifications for the relegation zone.
A tale of 2 games. Last week, the Bombers started sprightly, didn't allow Paynham a possession really in their forward half into the second half of the first quarter as Dixon, ultimate swingman. You'll find him at full forward in the ruck, down back sometimes. He slams on the boot. It's now 40 out from goal. Book. Lovely tackle, no prior. Umpire calls play on. Book goes in, he turns another page. Free kick at the bottom of that pack, going the way of Spock. So a smart start, the master of the Great Escape. Last year they were all but relegated heading into the last month of the season. Won 3 of their last 4. And of course, Goodwood then found themselves on the bottom and in Div 2 this year. Strong mark on the outer side, Michaels. Crowd's packed in pretty well here at Brighton Sports and Rec Reserve. Lacrosse on the far side, rugby in behind us, and footy here on Filming Footy. Hope you're enjoying it. All Div 1 streams live. That's a 45-degree kick. Those have got to work. That's modern day footy, but Lang chops it off. Did a pretty good job last week. Lang, he was responsible for none. And kept him as quiet as none's ever going to be. Here's Tarka roaming up the ground. Drops it into the pocket. O'Loughlin Johncock with a mini Bianco. At the back, Rivers. He's one that's going to be always dangerous, but Spock, it's a nice little short kick. And the mark taken by Charlie Allen.
So Charlie Allen goes on the 45, finds Coley. So Coley, what a great start to this clash. Goes down the line, beautiful looking kick. Wouldn't you go to Stuart Rattray? He started very great touch and high contact. So Lang just attacking that ball with the head. Sells some candy, as easy as you like. Goes long down the line inside forward 50. There's a golden fist for you. Good tapping at the back, goes towards Coley. Well mopped up there by Wilsden. Needs some support at ground level. Goes again, Wilsden. Held up on this occasion. We'll have a ball up. Strong tackling by Nerlich inside forward 50.
Looks like Spock have got an extra around the ball, which means Brighton have got 1 or 2 behind the footy here.
So Book up against Lockwood. Lockwood using his wealth of experience. Beautiful tap. They get this kick out of their sort defensive 50. Just stops in the mud. I'll tell you what, that's probably the muddiest spot on the ground and landed straight into it. Ball comes out. Great kick off the ground. Won't get any distance there. Some strong tackling. Umpire will probably call my ball and does.
How's that muddy there? It's a bit of a metaphor, that mud patch, for the fate of these two sides in the closing. You don't want to be stuck in that, otherwise you'll find yourself in Div 2, quick smart.
Very sinking feeling, so Lockwood almost deserves a free kick. No, he's played it instead to Dixon. So Dixon plays on, great looking kick, goes to the hot spot. Beautiful mark, strong mark. And a fantastic mark. Jukes were up. Will Rivers. Tell you what, that is a beautiful mark and tough contested mark there by Rivers. And as we mentioned earlier, South Australian country rep with NTFL experience, both at the Waratahs and the Southern Districts Crocs. And he's been in the top 3 in the best BNF, you'd imagine, once the best and fairest is counted here at the Brighton Bombers at the end of the season. So can he kick there first? Deliberate approach. Kicks from 49. Lovely looking kick. Rivers strikes first for the Brighton Bombers and a much needed goal after a great start there by the Spockos. So 2-2-14 plays 1-1-7. A 7-point margin on the scoreboard. Also brought to you by Hahn. I'll tell you what, Jack, I will have a little drink responsibly after this game, but I don't mind one of those Hahn Ultra Zeros. Great taste, zero carb, and how good are they?
How good? How good indeed.
7-point margin.
How good is that? Bit of nourishment on the scoreboard for Brighton. With that, Rivers moves into the top 6 in league goal kicking. It's a rare bright spark and a shining star. There's Dixon just chasing after it, just couldn't get the hands to it. And the kick was a little bit questionable, but Higgins found the target, and Rivers again, looking for 2 in a minute. This is well within his range.
Fortuitous kick in the end.
Just spun all sorts of sideways, didn't it? Rivers 24 now on the season. That was his 50th goal for the Bombers. Moments ago, spent some time at Padthaway, beautiful part of the world here in SA. So Rivers, to bring the Bombers more or less back on a level keel. It's going to drop just short. Spocker well stocked. Just grazed the outside of Ted Newman's fist through for Brighton's second behind. Margin closed to a goal on the Sport to Enhance scoreboard. We've played 14 minutes here at Brighton. Spock bring it out. Mark taken by Ben Belperio.
A beautiful kick in from Newman into the lineup this afternoon. Welcome return. So Belperio will go switching back. Finds Facey. Facey with a driving ball outside of D50. Ends up in the hands of George. Got a runner on inside. Tell you what, they're queuing up if they can get out. Goes that man Coley again. He's been dangerous. Got one out the back. Juxtaposition 101. And Nick Michaels also into the lineup and their leading goal kicker for the season with just the 9 goals, mind you. Sorry, 9 games with 20 goals. He's been impressive with multiple goals throughout the season. Smart football craft out the back.
That whole attack from half-back, Brighton were caught out. Spock had 2 or 3 loose numbers in the end, got the clearance and found him.
So Blue Boots Michaels, close to the man on the mark, doesn't trouble him. They've slotted 3, the Spockos. 3-2-20. Plays 1-2-8, a little 12-point buffer midway through this first term. Wonderful round 15 action for the Adelaide Footy League Division 1, brought to you by Filming Footy, Footy Stats, powered by Dartfish. And big thanks again to our broadcast partners, Filming Footy and Sports Interactive. We might have to drop the old Filming Footy from the broadcast call this afternoon, but great start. After being here 2 weeks ago, and there was only 7 goals for the whole game. We've had 4 already. Inspired
Spock after that goal after the siren last week to drag themselves up from last to 8th and the clearance out of the midfield. It's inside 50 again. Red alarm bell's going off inside Brett Backwell's head. Handball needed to come, otherwise it would have been holding the ball. Spock are dangerous. Lachlan Johncock, clearly best on for Brighton last week. Picked up and is slammed out of danger. There's Dixon. I said moments ago, the ultimate swingman, Matty. He finds himself at all points of the compass for this Bombers outfit. His kick goes narrow down the line, not quite to the boundary, not quite inside. Picked up Francis, moving it through, going back in again, Francis. Slung out of ground level and moved to this near side. Head down, kicks a bit low. The goal scorer in Bedford makes it work, and the handball was beautiful, and all of a sudden they're inside 20 again. Watch out the back, keep the back door locked. Drag down without it. Advantage, another one for the Spockos. They want to be in this div next season. They've come out firing. Sportle and Hahn scoreboard 4-2-26. Bombers just stuck in quicksand. 1-2-8, margin of 18 points. 16 and a half gone.
Geez, Johnny Reid and Nick Michaels looking super dangerous up there, deep inside forward 50, along with Bedford, who's playing up forward, and a link man through the 50 in the midfield. Johnny Reid keeps his 100% record, 100% games, and he's a goal-a-game player. 15 goals, 15 games this season. So back to the middle. Dixon. So George going into the ruck, gets a fair leap on it, gets the southpaw down, goes towards Coley. We've got a number mismatched there. 53, we'll get on to him. I know that's Charlie Allen. He did wear that last year on the odd occasion. Ball comes out to Stuart Rattray. Tying up another difficult kick for the forwards on a 1-on-2. And pass is smothered. Gets a second chance there. Was Vodris. Goes out to that play again. He has his leg almost snapped off as he kicks it. Coming from the back there was Reid. Trickles through for a minor score. And a rush behind. And a little bit of a release there for the Brighton Bombers, whose defensive 50 have been under enormous amount of duress, Jack.
They've had numbers pushed back there as well. It's been a change after the opening couple of goals in the 4th and 8th minute to Bedford and Stuart Rattray, but it hasn't helped. Lockwood's a big lump of a man. Dixon in front, he's been one of their best in the early stages, just equalising that duel. Ricky, that's a beautifully measured kick. Mark taken inside, does the bodywork early. Tarka, can he butter up? Hard pressed inside towards that boundary in the middle. Finds Chalmers. Here's Nerlich. And the Bombers just have that early lick of the ice cream. Second goal on the board, not letting the margin blow out too much. And Scotty Nerlich.
Jack, I was quite surprised that
puts his name up in lights.
Tarka didn't go back to Rivers then. He was in a perfect position. Tried to bite off something he probably shouldn't have taken there, but in the end it worked out well. They had plenty of numbers at ground level.
There was a goal last week in that game against Payneham. They were mucking around, had a handball about 40 out, tried to run it in. On that occasion, first set and sight on goal, took the snap, scored the goal. So
tap there by Lockwood and Farquhar. He's got his first go at the ruck this afternoon. Could have been over the shoulder. Umpire calls play on. Rivers looking for a kick in that aerial contest, and good work at ground level. Weaves plenty of magic. String of hand passes as they head out towards David Grant, and his possession is out of bounds, last possession. So David Grant, number 31, there's a late into the lineup, and Will Montgomery late out. So right half forward, probably need the next goal here, Brighton, to find themselves in a good position at quarter time. Hold that ball inside 450, comes out, right foot snapper, not going to make the distance. Lachlan jump cut, marks it in the square. So a quick snap there by Nerlich, most recent goal kicker for Brighton. The umpire's found a hefty old angle here for Lachlan Junkott.
Gave him 2 votes last week. He was best on for the Bombers.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard from a Payneham Northern Union player, Brandon Jackson Mark, but Lachlan Junkott, beautiful right foot snapper and kicks truly. So the Sportal scoreboard for Hahn is lighting up this afternoon. Plenty of those zero-carb beers lighting up on the Sportal scoreboard. And she's almost an even Steven here, Jack, as we enter the time-on period. Just about time on, and on the Sportal Hahn scoreboard, 4-3-27, 3-2-20, and a nice 7-point buffer. Both teams will be pretty happy, I'd imagine, heading towards this time in the first term, considering they only had this scoreline here just 2 weeks ago.
Pretty good, isn't it? Brighton last week in the first quarter, 5 straight behind, so they've got themselves on the right end of that in the first quarter, and they're out of the middle again. Higgins just perhaps woken up the Bombers by that 3 goals in a row charge. Allen, handball, Malachi Carruthers couldn't break free. Interesting stat coming into this. Spock had kicked 62 goals away and Brighton have kicked 61 at home. So
Stats
is
there.
reflected by that spot on the table being so low scoring, but it should be a competitive match. He is laying inside 50 and a strong, almost to Bianco contender. Is that Dixon down there? I told you can expect him to pop up. It was Book. Here's Ricky again. Oh, he's harassed straight away. Got the kick out. Chalmers just paddling. Leading a handball target, moving back. No one's clear. Spock have manned up beautifully. Bennett. Look at Lachlan Johncock go. Oh, like he was in Paris on the purple track. Spock win it back through Higgins. Just stops, props. Assesses the options. When Jarman Cigar was in the vicinity though, it's probably not going to be a mark against him. And a boundary throw in. Outer side, who've played almost 22 minutes. It's been a pretty good quarter in arm wrestles. Spock have started well, but Brighton have just pushed back and are in the ascendancy now.
So Brighton clawed back in probably the last 5 minutes of this clash. So Stringer hand pass, Farquhar's hand pass didn't hit that target. Pretty crucial, so they've turned it over. Ball in the hands of Coley. Goes to left half forward. Lovely mark by Rodos. Looks for an option inside forward 50. Goes in the direction of Stuart Rattray. No mark taken. Ball comes to ground. Plenty of runners at ground level and plenty of defenders for Brighton too. Umpire just lets play roll on as you should. Quick kick out of defensive 50. Plenty of numbers behind the ball here. A strong mark and almost a team mark there to Ted Newman. Spock goes faithful, asking for a handy 25. Nothing given by the umpire and a fair enough decision. Foley's out towards this boundary line. They've got one on the 45 here at Facey. Looking for a longer option as he's called to play on. High up and under. Dixon in the front position. Good punch away in the end by Bedford. Harassed in the air. Quick kick out of the contest there by Bennett. Goes out to open pastures. A real foot race on that far side of true centre wing. I think he's kicked that off the ground. No. It's called a 0-0 draw. We'll have a ball up. True centre wing far side. 23.5 almost down first turn.
Looks like Spot coach has just put the cue in the rack. He's pushed a spare behind the footy. Dixon comes back to man him up and Spock pushed another one behind the footy. So they're happy to take this advantage into quarter time. But with 7 goals, this could be a quarter that might tick beyond 26, 27 minutes. So still plenty of time for scoring and a hold on the ball free kick on the outer side. That's Higgins. A couple of minutes remaining in this quarter. Almost at 24s. Spock just want to play some slow footy. Stuart Rattray got it, turned, went. Kick. Oh, Lockwood's going to do well to bend down here. Coming out to meet it. Goal scorer. First one for Spock. Bedford wearing a high shot. Umpire said you ducked into it. Play on. That was Coley coming out, or was it Michaels? He was taking a strong tackle, but still dangerous and pushed out of the ruck. Just to release the pressure. And with under 2 minutes left, Brighton might just clear this and take a 7-point deficit into the first break. But still time with Farquhar to push it down and perhaps add a 4th goal.
So Farquhar almost kicks to his opposing ruckman in Lockwood. Some smart work at ground level. Almost a high tackle there on Jimmy Higgins, the vice captain. Umpire says my ball true left half forward. So Lockwood up against Farquhar. Lockwood plenty of experience. Farquhar is in a bit of a Sammy Draper type of player. Just gives his all. Very courageous Farquhar.
Spock have got Grant and Facey just switching his spare men behind the footy here.
So long kick out of defensive 50. Goes in direction there. Geez, a great mark there by Rivers. He's started terrifically well. Goes to John Cocko Lachlan. Ball punched out of his hands. Plenty of numbers at ground level. McGill goes out wide. Finds Fergus Carruthers. Darting ball. A beautiful looking kick to Michaels. A long way up the ground from where he started and played most of his footy in this first term. Long and down the line to a 1-on-3. Pushing the back. Not seen there. Smart play by Murphy. Got away to Segal. Lovely little chiming ball. Finds the chest there of Blake Higgins. So Higgins short again. Good momentum. Good build up here from Brighton. Not much time left. Great kick by Francis. Finds O'Loughlin Johncock. Is he too far out to score? Take his best kick from there. Turn his back on the play, which I don't like to see with forwards. And a kick after the siren is pending. So Lachlan Johncock got the 2 votes from Jack Moore last week down there at Tea Tree Gully. The shot of the siren. Linnell reserves and underage play. Played every game this season with 13 goals to his tally. Already got 1. So can he kick his 15th of the season? This will be probably his most important to date. So Ricky O'Loughlin Johncock enters the tarmac. 45-degree angle. We're right behind him. Lovely looking kick. Magnificent kick by O'Loughlin Johncock after the siren. And it's a 1-point margin at quarter time, and it's got the local faithful up and about.
Spock came here and they set down the challenge. They led, they kicked the first couple of goals. Rivers answered back, another couple after that. Put their stake in the ground here at Brighton Oval. But these Bombers, these beautiful facilities, this sensational club, coached and led by Brett Backwell, so many injuries, they want to survive another season. And that second half of that first quarter, the way they got around Ricky at the end there, they mean business. They are not done in this division for season 2024.
Well, what a tremendous start here at the Brighton Oval. We'll bring back all the second quarter action after these key messages. Geez, what a first quarter.
What a quarter of footy. These two sides come into today in the bottom three, playing for their seasons, and it looked like Spock had come to Brighton and stuck their stake in the ground well and truly, kicked away to a 4-1 lead. But Brett Backwell's men, if they play anything like him, well, they answered beautifully. 3 goals in the last 7 minutes of that quarter. Nerlich with 1, Ricky with 2, Rivers with the single, and for Spock it was Bedford, Stewart Rattray, Michaels and Reid all 1 apiece as we're underway. Second quarter on Filming Footy. Quick handball coming out, chasing after it, moving it through quickly, and a free kick going downfield. Early set shot on goal will go the way of Spock on this Saturday afternoon. So 4-2-26. Brighton 4-3-27 on that Sportal scoreboard.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit unrequired, that extra pressure on that kicker, because he dribbled the kick in the end, but the damage has been done, and it's a free upfield with a shot on goal.
So Charlie Allen, plenty of experience. Sturt and Westies played 6 league games for the Bloods, and he puts a boot and a half through that. It's going to fall about 10 centimetres short. 1 grab, 2 grab, and just dribble it through for a rush behind. In the end, Venning was there to take it through, and all stretching to mark it. Murphy, and falling over. They're making hard work of this, the Bombers. This is the kind of situation.
So on the far side there, Malachi Carruthers, lovely long raking kick out of deep 50, finds Coley, probably racked up 10 positions thus far, goes to Allen. So the ball movement's been very efficient by Spockos. Brighton love to play a counter-attack style. It's been a feature of both sides thus far this afternoon. Found one in open space. Well chimed in there was Tarka. Well picked up in the end. That was beautiful work there by DeCastro. 8 goes for George. Umpires found a free kick to George. I wouldn't say it was holding on. Probably a little bit high. Did a good angle. Shallow pockets here. Not suited for a right footer.
I was watching this contest, Venning on George first quarter. A bit of a size mismatch.
So George goes to the hot spot, looking for a high flyer. No mark taken, great snap off the pack. Looks like Johnny Reid He slotted through his second. So, big man does the roving. Smart football craft there. Slots through number 2. We're going to have to start taking down lead changes because that's number 3.
Johnny Reid, 15th goal of the season in the opening quarter. Has the last 2 now for Spock, so 16 on the season. And Spock just levelling back, 5 goals, 5. Interesting stat, they've kicked more behinds than goals in 8 of their 14 games this season. So we're looking to add to the 6 where they've kicked more goals than points. Lockwood and Farquhar. Farquhar couldn't pick the lock on that occasion, wrenching it out. There's Lockwood just trying to go back into it, but he was a little bit too slow and Tarka came in.
Ooh.
Slight nudge in the back, umpire in the perfect position. Rivers will take it well within his range and he'll line up for what will be his 25th goal of the season. And for Brighton, considering where they are on the table, to have a goal scorer in the top 5 in the league is a pretty good accomplishment. If he can kick truly here, he'll go into the top 5.
He's a great specimen of a lad because he's got a bit of everything there.
Well, the Crows definitely saw something in him, played a season at Sandford level. Back for the Bombers and just edging it all, just coming across the face. They all missed it. Still in, Spock. Try to resist. Rivers will get a second chance over his head. No, it's Finlay Bennett. He might be a bit too far out. Sums it up in the space of a millisecond. Ricky came through, couldn't get his hands on the footy and clearing it out. Blue boots. Got to use it smartly if you wear those. And coming up the ground, it's George taking contested mark. And that matchup I was talking about earlier, just getting a little bit over the top. Giving away a 25 as Spock move it inside their forward half. Here's Charlie Allen all the way from one end to the other. How's the hands of Reid? He's on a heater.
Beautiful chiseler and strong dukes from Johnny Reid will line up for his second inside a couple of minutes.
This will be 3 in a row for Spock for Johnny Reid. Tighter angle than the last one, and he's one at the 17th minute mark of that first quarter. Brighton came out all guns a-blazing with that odd bounce leading to the opening goal of this term. Open up a pretty handy margin. But Reid has turned the pages in this second term. 7 gone. Entering a new chapter now as Spock open up a handy 9-point lead. Sporto and Hahn, Ultra Zero Carb scoreboard. We've played 7.5 minutes in this do-or-die, bottom of the table relegation clash.
Interesting to see if Backwell makes a move there to change up his defensive lineup. Maybe Segal onto Reid. Could be an option that he may look at. It's just starting to get the better of that back 6 at the moment. So Johnny Reid, 3 out of 6 goals.
17 goals on the season now.
Crucial up forward. Yep. So back to the middle. Weather not playing a factor, it's just adding to the beautiful conditions here down here at Brighton. Relegation game for the ages down here. So Dixon up against Lockwood. Lockwood wins the tap. Lang's gone head first in again. He burrows in. He gets under the skin of his opponents as well. Good scragger and tagger. So Lang can get earn his own. Caught some arms there. Was David Grant, the late inclusion. So Alexander Book is a mark of the week Bianco contender back here in round 13. Too far out to score. A little bit stagnant where the big men are. Just drops it at Ricky O. Warner comes in. Almost takes out Laughlin's marking opportunity. Comes out. Good work by Higgins in the end. They're still mucking around with it too much. Allen looking for a free kick. Held to him. We better get it out. Umpire still calls play on, letting the play go. And umpire in the end says my ball.
Yeah, smartly umpired there. Liam Binning just letting the ball come loose. It did.
So good tap by Lockwood. He's got an out in Allen. Not going to go too far. We'll come back with interest. So play on inside forward 50. haven't got the cleanliness or the efficiency inside 450. Whacks it out towards Bedford. Beautiful golden fist. Comes towards Lang. Rides the rodeo bump. Can switch it behind. Gets it back inside forward 50. It's time to book. Can't take the mark. Comes out to Warner. Dishes off. Just pops one up there for Rivers. Not his best kick, off one step. Still an advantage. Ball hasn't gone out, and they've called it back. The St. Peter's defenders have lured in the umpire, and he says we'll have we'll have a throw-in thing.
Sheffield thought he'd won the lottery twice in a quarter there, didn't he?
He did.
Having that ball sit up for him in the first couple of minutes, and he'll throw it in there. The boundary umpire put the arm muscles to work, stretch him out. Really dangerous spot. Brighton need a goal just to edge that margin back towards even. Handball over the head. Inventive. And the kick towards the boundary. Oh, he's lucky.
No.
Pushed in the back after he kicked it. Matt, you had a better view on that one. Free given away by Nerlich in the back pocket, and a major relief there for Spock. Umpire doing the right thing and letting the play out. Tarka over there. That's a mini Bianco. Not quite enough, and the whistles are sounding here. Might be advantage. Umpire's seen it. Perry, 2-on-1 spot. Oh, but it doesn't matter when you've got Will Rivers charging out of the goal square.
All the big players have come to play this afternoon, Jack. Don't you worry about that.
Both these teams revved up like they've sculled a slab of Red Bull prior to this one. Or maybe some zero alcohol Han, perhaps.
The zero carb.
The sponsor's
How
product.
good.
It is a delicious drop. Here's Rivers he'll kick from about 35, 38 metres out. Tight angle, playground pocket. To cut the margin back to 3. Oh, was it ever in doubt until the final seconds? But the kick had enough on it. Many Rivers to cross for Brighton if they're going to stick in Div 1, but that's one taken care of. Margin back to 3. We have got the game of the round here, Matt, on the Sporto and Hahn scoreboard. 6-2-38, the Bombers. Spock 6-5-41, thanks to Hahn. Ultra low carb. How good? What a game. 12 minutes gone, second quarter.
This has been an absolutely terrific clash so far. As we mentioned, many ramifications with the business end of the season. 2 of about 4 teams in relegation zone at the moment. Good work there by George. Takes it out of the ruck, goes back to Coley. He's got one on the middle. Geez, he bites off plenty there. Warner doesn't meet the contest when he should have hit it harder. Some good work there by Facey. So they get this string of handballs. Good work by Warner. Great second effort by Warner, unrewarded. Comes out. Good work in the end by Carruthers. Hits the hot spot. Cut the high flyers at the back. No Bianco contenders, but Charlie Allen. What a little bit of snag, Meatwix. Almost a snag of the day there. And Charlie Allen pops through his second. A little jab Meatworks drive by for a kilo of gourmet sausages. He's a contender. Jack Moore.
Charlie. Oh, goodness. Welcome to his chocolate factory inside 50. Just the sweet little dab on that right boot. Summed up the conditions perfectly. It's been the one thing that separates these two teams is just that ability to sum it up quickly, put it on the boot inside 50. Don't mess around with it. Put it through the big sticks. Margin re-established. 9 points. Charlie Allen, all the experience. Sturt and Westy, 6 games at league level at the Sandful. Right back in what was quite a slop a few weeks ago. It's dried out, and Tim Dixon just rides Allen down. Collapses over it. So 13.5 gone. Just checked in with that Tea Tree Gully and Prince Alfred match, and the Gullies are up by 4 goals in that one, so makes the result here ever more important. We could have 7th to 10th separated by 1 premiership point, but plenty of footy to be played on this beautiful Saturday afternoon as Rodos escorts it out, opposite side of the ground. 14 gone, boundary umpire will chuck it in.
So true centre wing, far side. 9 points the margin for Sportle and Hahn. Hahn ultra low carb, how good. String of hand passes to the pressure needs to lift here from Brighton. Little slice and dice there from Malachy Carruthers. Lovely kick, just didn't take the mark there. Half forward there was Jimmy Higgins. He managed to get it forward, unfortunately, straight into the defensive line.
See Allen back in the midfield now. Not only gets forward for goals, but just pointing and setting up the team. Just make sure they're in their defensive
Some good work by
position.
Rivers, Dixon. Got Warner on in the middle. Needs a clever kick, and it is. So Warner just pulls on the kick at the last second as Bennett's up to the occasion. Some good work and some corralling by Coley. High tackle not paid. Goes out the back to Allen. Pokes one forward. Will go over the head of Johnny Reid. Johnny Reid plays defender up forward. Holds the ball in. And that move has been made with Jack Loy. It's a good match-up, Loy. Great defender. Good punch, third man up. Warner punches on again. They've seen a bit of volleyball action. Bedford overruns the pill. Goes out towards Perry. Perry goes backwards. And gets the 1-2. Under duress from Bedford. Slides out of his tackle. Tarka from behind. Lovely mark. So Tarka playing up the ground this week. Goes in the direction of Rivers. Jeez, he's hit that contest hard. Clean bowls Darren Grant there. Ball comes to half forward. Needs some pressure. They've got a 2-on-4 here. Brighton just hold back. They should have hit that contest harder. Goes out to Coley again. And finds Henry Stratway. Stewart. He's got a Stratray rat race.
They've got two loose in D50 here, the Bombers. It's going to be very hard to navigate this for Spock.
So Stuart Rattray, another tumble kick. He's done a couple of those today. No mark paid there by the umpire. And ball will be thrown up 30 from home there for St. Peter's Old Collegians.
9-point game, 16 gone. Right end of the ground for the Spockos if they can add another one and extend that margin. Drilled into the ground but tackled legally. The umpire decided and it just wasn't quite enough. And the dumping motion. So a kick just to the edge of 50 just to improve the angle. Might be a little bit too far out for Johnny Vroda, so he gets back quickly. Both teams pushing an extra couple behind the footy whenever the opposing mids have a set kick inside to about 20 out. Pops it to that exact position and up to meet it. There is one of the spare men. Jarman Segawi does his best work obviously down there, but able to take that mark in the end, uncontested apart from a couple of teammates. Short to Venning. Here's Perry. It's been the exception rather than the rule of Brighton to maintain possession coming out of their back half this season, but they're doing it nicely here to Dixon. Wastes no time. Evades the smother, end over end little tumbler. Boundary line hovering, but the ball bounces the other way. Coming to meet it, Francis. Put the Dirty Dancing shoes on. Moves it about 20 in from this near side boundary. Nerlich couldn't take it. Looked left, looked right. Farquhar, not sure you want the footy in the hands of him. Just getting it under control at the last moment. It was Newman and the short kick to Ed Coley at half-back for Spock.
So Coley, left half-back. Got a couple on the 45. Finds the chest there of Ted Newman. 5 A grade and 8 B grade this year.
It's all one-on-one now inside the forward half.
So Newman goes long down the line and unmarked in the end was Segal. Couldn't pull the mark in. Umpire's found a free kick.
Just threw it out there, Matt, as he was tackled.
So Perry's got one on short in Tarka. Been productive, Tarka. He's got oozes with class. Kick down the line. Goes towards Rivers. Why wouldn't you? He's been the key forward. Ball's been channeled through him a lot. So Coley on the rebound again. Great work there by Ty Murphy. Because they were on there. St. Peter's goes to Lachlan. He's almost dragged out of the contest. Umpire doesn't see it. Strong mark there by Facey. Goes to Bedford. Jeez, he's looking sharp today, Bedford. He's on. Gets it in the 1-2. The big cat goes back. Mucking around with it on the far side. Ends up being a turnover. Some smart work there by Brighton. So the pressure meter's up. Umpire's found a free kick for pushing them back. And I'll bring it back, Jack, to left half back there.
Just want to pay some credit to Nick Wilson there. That last inside 50 marking opportunity for Rivers again. Wilsden held the front position and strength, and Rivers is having a pretty good day, but Nick Wilsden played 177 games for Crystal Brook in his second season at Spock. Won that battle.
Certainly has. So Wilsden, prominent name up in the Northern Areas Football Association with the Crystal Brook. Ever head down to Crystal Brook, Jack, make sure you head into Cooksh's Bakery for a wonderful pasty, beautiful Cornish pasties.
Your personal sponsor, Matt?
No, I've eaten a few pies.
Delicious.
Ted Newman, he's got the 25, so didn't come back for that mark.
Just watching on the outer side, a slight injury there. We'll pick that up. He's picked himself up and jogging it off, and we'll see who that is. But
we've got Coley on, queuing up at half forward. It's a smart football, a fickle old bounce. Turnover occurs, lands in the lap of Finlay Bennett. Kicks to Ricky O'Loughlin. They've got a couple out the back here. Brighton, if they play on quickly. Ricky O plays on, goes to the hot spot. He's got Rivers, beautiful mark. Plays on, must have been touched. Oh, it had to have been touched. He would have gone back and slotted that. So just drifts to the right.
I was watching the umpire saying, no, I don't think I called that touch, and Rivers is throwing his head back
well, they'll have,
maybe fooled by an opponent there.
Yeah, he would have been looking almost into the sunlight, but nonetheless, he's played on, and it's a minor score.
You called it beautifully, Matt, though, for a man of his talents. Wouldn't have played on from directly in front unless he was 100% certain it was touched, but that time has passed. So 6-3-39, margin reduced to 8 once again. Taken down, marking contest. Took the body, didn't take the ball. Here's Lockie to Cesare, and that's an interesting kick, but Bedford makes it work. He's been beautiful today. His ball use and the movement, second to none. And if he marked that, it probably would have been 25, but because he didn't, it's only going to be a free kick going the way of Nick Michaels. 20 goals coming into this one. He added a 21st in the opening term. He'll kick from about 40 out. Good for a couple of goals a game. 58th senior game for Spock. 109 goals, including his first quarter effort. Smosh and Walkerville Jr. He just puts the arm up to guide it in, but goal umpire jogs over. So 22 gone. This quarter is raced by. 4 goals each at quarter time. Brighton have added 2. Spock have added 3. Margin sits at 9 points on the Sport to Enhance scoreboard.
It's a long kick out from full back. Beautiful looking kick. Great mark on that far side. Tremendous mark. Ball's been given back. Got one on the 45. Ignores that option. Goes short. So Book goes inboard, finds Bennett. Plenty of work on this outer side wing here this quarter. Ricky O'Loughlin probably could have just worried about the man handling from back and just hit the ball a bit harder. Dodges, weaves, bit of magic. Here's Tarka. Great man to have the ball in the hands of. O'Loughlin good, just puts it up as a bit of, Farquhar makes the contest well on a 1-on-3. Allen kicks widely out of that D50. Should be mopped up, and it is.
You called it, Matt. There was
3-on-1
Spock, which means the quick kick down the line is going to be a 3-on-1 Brighton. They'll reload.
So Venning plays on. Goes towards Rivers. Good punch away. Smart work by Wilsden. Reed couldn't pick the ball up. Some good work there by Perry. Keeps it in. 2-on-3. Goes out the back. Wilsden to mop up. He's under a huge amount of duress. He coughs it up. Off the ground. And we've had a beautiful looking goal. And just got a crook old bounce. There's been some ugly looking bounces up there. And Jack Francis, right place, right time in this lineup this week. And just kicks a simple dribbler off the ground. Gifted a goal. And the Brighton scoreboard has not gone well there because I've got the scoreboard incorrect.
They've added a goal, which probably you don't want to do when the stakes are so high.
The scoreboard for Sportal should read 7-6 to 7-3. 3 points the margin.
Should be back 2 under a goal, exactly.
And 24 minutes down second turn.
Beautifully called, Mr. Bianco. Matt Gale, this is Jack Moore. And our filming footy crew down at Brighton Oval as Dixon chases after it. Both men had their eyes towards the clouds. Nothing but stars. Rodos moving it in, turning it over. Spock at 6s and 7s, that last goal. They were caught out of position. Wilson was at full back and Newman was on Rivers, and time ran out. They couldn't communicate, and a beautiful little walk-in effort to Francis. Can't be much time left in this second quarter. Here he is at half-back, Mr. Sheffield. Escorts that down the wing, finds Perry. He'll look for a little sweep shot inside inside the forward half of the ground. Umpire's called a mark, play on immediately. Well corrected. And he threw it out, tried to fight his way through a tackle, the Cheeseman. Umpire made the mistake, but called play on straight away, which meant Cheeseman Dutton needed to get a handball out. He took the tackle on, didn't. Higgins, the vice-captain. Spock looked for a late one. Bianco over the top. Jarman Seagal went up, and that's a clunker. 25 gone, second quarter. Mark that down. Need a hard hat for that, thanks to Bianco. Over the shoulder of Rodos. Rode him down. It was borderline high contact. Ball up, near side, 25 and a half gone. There's your Bianco mark for the day so far, Matty Gale.
It's a good tap by Lockwood. Book bending his back for a big man. Smart work. Goes out. We've got a string of hand passes. Lang high up and under. Looking for some rain up there. Francis, and we've got a turnover right on the siren. And what a wonderful first half here. Outstanding first half. Both coaches, Backwell and O'Leary, will be super pumped with their charges. We've had a brilliant first half. Relegation zone, almost a mini grand final here for these two sides to stay up in Division 1 company for 2025. Jack Moore, Matty Gale on call. Big thank you to Filming Footy for all their wonderful stats. Footy stats powered by Dartfish this game. Big thank you to Sports Interactive, our broadcast partners, Adelaide Footy League, Sportal Scoreboard, as well as Hahn Ultra Zero Carb, Great Taste Ultra Zero Carb. How good, please drink responsibly. Dartfish with all their video analysis. Farmers League, the Coach of the Week award. Best on ground, well, there's a string of players there for Archie's, all in line for a set of Archie's thongs. And the snag of the day, will it be Ricky O? We've also got another contender in that quarter with a right foot snapper there was Charlie Allen. A little bit of a Bianco mark of the week contended by Jarman Seagal, the 25th minute mark of that second term. This game has been jam-packed with highlights. 14 goal first half. We'll bring back all the second half action after these key messages.
ripping first half of action here on Filming Footy on a Saturday afternoon, thanks to our sponsor, the Adelaide Footy League. Between the posts with Tommy Javor, Tuesday night, saw the Bianco Mark of the Week and the Goal of the Week thanks to Born to Build. And of course our Goal of the Day, our Snag of the Day, thanks to Jag Meatworks. Winner will receive 1 kilo of gourmet sausages, and our broadcast sponsors Archie's, Best On Ground Thongs and Slides, Farmers Leap, Dartfish, our match day sponsor, Filming Footy with team and individual stats. You can watch your highlights and analyse your opponents. Google Filming Footy today. Our scoreboard sponsor, Sportal, and Hahn Ultra Zero Carb. How good? We're in for a blockbuster second half. It's winner take all pretty much. The loser of this might find themselves in rock bottom with 3 weeks to go. At half-time, Spock lead by 3. It's Jack Moore alongside Matt Gale.
So Lockwood gets the tap. Ball comes to ground. Pressure meters up already in this second half. Blitzing away is Perry. Gives a 1. Oh, goes back, sorry. Almost did the kick the wrong way myself as a commentator.
Get the compass out, spin it round.
So Book. Deep forward entry, nice kick, almost a falcon off the head of O'Loughlin. John Cock goes to Tarka, played up the ground in the first half, dishes out. They go back to Tarka, dangerous. Whoa, there we go. Is it going to get shepherded through? It does. I think there's your Jag Meatworks kilo of gourmet snags down there at Arndale Shopping Centre. Jakey Tarka, take your hat off, son, and take a bow. That is classy.
Classy indeed. One of the first minute, third quarter, you would have expected him to get on the scoreboard. And he's pushed himself. He's been playing there all day on ball and pushing forward, really. He is one of the class acts. If you didn't know already, 167 games and 267 goals for Encounter Bay. And put himself on the South Adelaide radar and played some footy in the VFL for Geelong. And there he is chasing after the Sherrin again. He's beaten to it there on this occasion, Higgins. Clash of bodies and a couple of Bombers have stayed down, but the play goes on. Tarka inspired at the moment. Chasing after it, Sheffield. It was the Sheffield and Tarka show for that last goal. Bit of back and forth. Players have picked themselves up, and this is Eddie Allen, the captain. Off half-back, winning a free kick. You'd expect a touch of class off the boot. Wasn't there on that occasion. And again, that kick's gone about 6 metres. Making it look good. Gets the handball, chases after it. Collie, was he taken down? He was. Just getting a tad lucky, Collie. Chase the footy and clearing out of the area. Nerlich, umpire does his job. What a start to this opening couple of minutes. Brighton back in front, but they fall asleep there. Gee, it all stopped for a second. All in slow motion. Stuart Rattray came out, Mark, about 48 out from goal. Second guessing his distance, looking for a leading option, dropping back in the hole. What about that from Ty Murphy? And what about that? He plays on to nobody in particular. Ball stuck. Brighton play the get out of jail card again. Free kick, and here's Perry.
So Perry, umpires found a blood rule by the look of it. He has. Looks like Perry will dash off the field.
So the whistle's gone while the ball was in the air here. So
it's very unusual to call the blood rule during a play. It's usually a stoppage of play.
So the umpire might just get away with it by saying, well, he had the blood while he was kicking, so it comes back to a preferred goal kicker and we play on.
So Segal goes the torpedo, tumble punt in the end. Bounces off the chest of his forward there in Rivers. Some strong tackling and a half forward. So the pressure meter's lifted for both sides, and particularly the home side here, the Brighton Bombers. 5 lead changes in this clash thus far. Lockwood grabs it out of the ruck. Good punch, golden fist. The umpire's found a free kick though. Bit hard to hold the Guernsey when you're punching, but free kick nonetheless to Jimmy Higgins. Had a bit of a fitness test at half time, Jimmy Higgins. Passed with flying colours. Some good pressure there by Warner. And he's won the contest in the end. Couldn't take the ball with him. Some good work there by Loy. Dragged off the contest. Comes back. Will they go back laying just a high up and under in hope? And it should be chimed off. Just heard some footsteps there from Rivers. And Rivers, as he's done earlier in the clash, has gone through with the 10-pin bowling alley.
And the Brighton bench in front of us, not happy at all. They were off to the races there.
So it was Nerlich that clean bowled him. The ball will be come back and we'll have a free there on the far side left wing.
So Spocko's response now needed. They've been headed. up by as much as 9 in this game, and early on in the first quarter led by a few goals. Recent terms though, it's been pretty even. The kicks today have been a few tumble punt efforts. That one's a scything effort. Oh, coming in late, George. Tried to make it good, but now it's at ground level and pushed in the side or in the back.
Taken 25 down. There. As soon as you drop the ball on the ground, that should be 25, and he's seen it.
Matt Gale, spot on. He tried to give it back. The Brighton player was still collecting his thoughts, and Matty Gale, excellently summarised, dropped it on the ground. 25, and Brighton are away, half forward, but it's not to the leading forward's advantage, and it's a nice little sizzling 14.9 metre kick. Umpire rounds up, pays it to Collie off half back. He's got nobody coming at him, all one-on-one. The kick about 60 metres away, wanting it. Hasn't got that distance. In front, arguably best on so far for the Spockos. Charlie Allen opens the ground up now. Goes to his namesake and the captain, Edward. Eddie Allen moves it on to Facey. He's been pretty handy. Carruthers inside 50 and finds the brother Malachi. So he'll line up early from about 49 out. 45-degree angle, and they've just edged it inside forward 50 and slack marking. It's the Carruthers show. Carruthers to Carruthers and back to Carruthers. Here's Fergus lining up for his 9th goal of the season.
A bit of a battle of the half-back lines leading up into this play, I've found, Jack, so far this third term.
It all came about from that kick back inside the corridor from Allen. Modern day footy, you bite that 45 lateral kick off, it's going to lead to a set shot. So Fergus loads up, he drops it in short. Perhaps not what he was intending. They all fight for it at ground level. Who's got the speedy boots on? Put some jets in the heels. Are they all over behind? Coming through Bedford. It's a hot footy in there. Leaving it behind again, Francis. Moving it through and trying to drill his way like a boar. Sheffield put the hand out. Was he taken in the back? He was. Otherwise, it was going to be holding the ball. A tackle from Nick McGill. A bit over the top, in the back. And Sheffield will take it coming out of half-back. 6.5 gone. Bombers have a slender 3-point lead on that Sporto and Hahn scoreboard.
It's a long, raking kick. Goes out to the far side in the direction of Withers, but a golden fish should see this how to play, and it is. Jeez, I don't know how they found that punch. Must have just went off his the tip of his toe right on the boundary line, because that looked like it was a golden fist out of bounds there. Anyway, Book will play on, and he's read it well. Not his best kick, though. He's closed the book on that one. And he's turned it over with the last possession out of bounds. Goes to McGill. Captain switches, or the co-captain. Finds Wilsden. Crystal Brook product. Goes on the 45. Not his best kick. Searching ball. Finds Facey. Facey goes back to McGill. Pokes one over the top. And finds the Casseray. Fitting the French name during this current Olympics.
Oui, oui.
Bonjour, de Casseray. So he goes out wide. Coming from behind. Good punch in the end. Smart football. Allen dishes off. McGill. Should be a free upfield. Could have been to McGill anyway.
Yeah, he saw
out of the contest.
Beautifully out of the back. Stuart Rattray just taken down. Yellow card coming out of the sock here.
Who's got the yellow card?
So something late on the back of that contest on the Dartfish replay. Free kick was there. It was a little bit over the top. Umpire maybe had probably warned him previously. It's a rare sight to see an umpire produce a card without a warning. So he'll take 10 minutes, can be replaced. And Cheeseman Dutton will come on to the field.
So McGill goes into the pocket. Tough kick from there.
Venning it is, taking his 10 minutes in the sin bin.
So Mark, man on the mark, standing about 48 from home, goes to the top of the 50, finds Facey, still too far out from home. Goes short. There's been some loose checking about 40 to 45 out from home there from Brighton. Just allowed that eased kick inside forward 50. Had Johnny Reid on, goes longer, goes out the back to George. Is he being paid the mark? No, it's a finger tipper over the boundary line for a throw-in.
That's the matchup there. George has been opposed to Venning, who's now on the bench with that yellow card. So they're going to have to switch a few their fullback because George, his size, his height, is a tough matchup.
Certainly is. So ball to be thrown in, about 20 from home here. Next goal is pretty crucial in the context of the game. Only one goal this term. High up and under out of the defensive 50. Searching ball. Punches off the back. Plenty of structure behind the ball here for St. Peter's. Ricky O'Loughlin will disturb that. And geez, they're away there, Brighton. Ball will be thrown in at true centre wing on the far side there.
It's been a couple of times the umpire's whistle has come to the saviour of the men in blue. So Lockwood and Dixon to engage again. 9.5 gone, arm wrestle, third quarter. Who can break free? No one's coming out of this one. Only one goal in this term so far, going the way of the men in black and gold to re-establish a lead. Crunch battle this one. Ball trickles towards the boundary again. We'll bring you up to date now. Tea Tree Gully holding a 25-point lead over Prince Alfred. So that's a massive result at the bottom of the Div 1 table. That'll make things very congested indeed, regardless of who wins this one. Plenty of time. More than a quarter and a half left. Last possession free. Moving it up, and that's the vice-like grip above his head. Resisting the urge. Seagal hands it off to the man in the long socks. That's Dixon. Parks himself under it. Wilston. But he overran it. Tarka puts it out in front of Ricky. Oh, he got his hands chopped. He goes back for it now. Race on. Who's going to get there first? Just a metre and a step too slow. That would have opened things up to the largest lead of the day for the Bombers. But as it is, 4 points, 11 gone. Sport to enhance scoreboard.
A nice kick out wide towards Cooley. Umpire's found a free kick for a push in the back. Not sure, both players a little bit confused there. We'll go to Bennett. About 55 from home. Goes the left foot peg. Why wouldn't you to Tarka? So Tarka's already kicked one goal this quarter.
Silky smooth. Anyone in that forward 50 is going to slot it from 60-degree angle for 40 out. It's going to be Jake Tarka.
So Tarka, pick number 68 in the 2018 draft with Geelong. He's going to kick it, he will. Jeez, that's a beautiful looking kick. Just drifts to the left for a minor score. So Sport will scoreboard, match lead here, or the biggest lead here so far for Brighton with 5 points, 8-5 to 7-6.
Carruthers of the Malachi variety at fullback. Kicks off a short one when your captain says, give it to me. That's what you do. Charlie Allen. Oh, Charlie, what have you done? Sets it up. He's been taken out there. Very, very fortunate because the kick was high risk. For not much
risk,
reward.
I don't think that Rivers did much wrong there because he actually went to the contest.
Just a millisecond late. Took the arms out. They're looking to pick off this zigzag footy in this third quarter. Coming over the back, Grant. Late in. Both the game in this contest. There's Farquhar. Mark it if you can. Oh, used the body to perfection. Or did he? Umpire said no. Fascinating decision. Rivers will take it, turn around, and perhaps smirk and giggle under his breath. He'll line up directly in front, 40 out.
Well, Belferrier made contact, but I thought it was in the side, and I didn't think there was much in it, but Rivers, he probably could have received 10 free kicks easier than that one, though.
The only decision umpire could have made is if the ball, in his view, wasn't within 5 metres.
He was right before he took the mark, so it was very hard to gauge where he got that free kick from.
Because the hands were
not right near it, Jack.
Hands were straight down by his side, weren't they? Didn't push him out. Umpire's made the call. Can Rivers take the reward? Oh, he steps up and fills his plates. Fans still shifting a bit uneasy. They know these Bombers have got some top shelf footy in them, but they're capable of the opposite. Same for Spock as well. But I tell you what, at the 14-minute mark, they'd much rather be up by 9 points than down. And that's what it is on the Harnan Sportal scoreboard. As Rivers kicks truly his third of the day and now 26 on the season.
Wonderful kick from Rivers. He's just got that stutter step that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable as a supporter, but he has got a real good strike rate. He's just cruising his way up through the leading goal kicking race for 2024. He's in the position again. Can he get 2 in a minute? Runs into an open goal. Bang! But a big butter ball from Rivers. He's got 4. And the lead moves out to a very comfortable 17 points on the Sport on Hard scoreboard. Ultra Zero Carb, great taste. Ultra Zero Carb, how good is Will Rivers? He leaped forward to best on ground honours with that 4th goal. Jack Moore
pushes himself up now, 4th overall in the league goal kicking. And someone from Spock, get down to Pet Barn and get yourself a leash, because Will Rivers is well and truly off it. And if you don't reel him in, this one is gone. And for Spock, well, their season is on the brink. 17-point margin. Brighton are on fire. Spock's defence is petrified as they come out. He's gone. Brighton have taken it up several notches in this 3rd quarter. Dixon, move it on. One-on-ones forward. Ricky! Oh! Oh yeah! What about that from O'Loughlin Johncock?
Did someone say Bianco?
Put a hard hat on, dropped the tools at the feet, made the footy the shiny apple on that tree, and bangs through his 3rd. Brighton are quickly getting out of sight. They put the foot down. 3 goals in the space of 4 minutes. Michael O'Leary and Spock, what have you got? Sporto and Hahn, Ultra Zero Carb scoreboard. Brighton are kicking away, 23-point gap.
Unbelievable. Scoreless this quarter, St. Peter's. Scoreless.
4 goals to zip.
And playing inspiring football here, Brighton, in front of their home crowd. Electrifying feeling around the Brighton Oval. Farquhar, like a man possessed, just pulls it out of the ruck. Book can't get involved. Closed book on this occasion. Strong tackling, a half forward, comes out again. Can they get on to it? And that is a dribbler out of defence, St. Peter's. He's going to get closed down. Hold the ball, says the umpire. O'Loughlin Johncock just coming from nowhere and almost pulled his pants down, literally.
O'Loughlin Johncock and Rivers, they are absolutely single-handedly, well, between them there's a couple of hands there, but regardless, they are salvaging Brighton's Division 1 place in the space of 10 minutes here.
So O'Loughlin Johncock will line up for number 4, 2 in a minute. What a wonderful tackle. Can he reward himself? Just drifts to the right. Unfortunately, can't do more damage. Starting to hemorrhage here, St. Peter's.
Stopped to a crawl past 5 minutes. Band-aids over cracks because the dam wall is bursting. Boy, they need that tackle in the middle of the ground just to set things up around the footy, because when it's been an open, Bombers have been unstoppable, uncatchable and irresistible. Trying to run out of a tackle's laying umpires tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. Couple of minutes away from time on, umpire Rob Kane throws it up. Been a one-way ticket. Warner takes strike, moves it inside 50. Cook overcooked. McGill, time to breathe out. Still plenty of time to play in this term, over six minutes of game time. Understatement of the season for the Spockos. Needing a goal, needing it now. Wilson's kick finds Bedford. He's a long way from where he'd rather be. Mark manned up beautifully by Warner. Bedford's time expires, must kick. All the way down, pushed into it. Oh, get that into you. Didn't take the mark, but he took out the opponent, and they pile in. Few of these men are short of some power tools. They want the Bianco Mark of the week. Umpire throws it up. Lockwood arrives late. He's taken out by Farquhar. Dixon picked it up. Half volley. Oh, it's that man again. The show's on. He goes after it. Umpire says, yep, it's yours, Ricky. Time on. A minute away, and Ricky's going to line up for his 4th of the day. He's seen Rivers kick a couple in a space of 2 minutes. .35 out, more or less directly in front. Oh, the stage is yours, Ricky! Putting his name up in lights, and Spock have got no answers. 5-goal to zip, 3rd quarter. Time on, and Brighton's lead on that Sporto and Hahn Ultra Zero Carb scoreboard is 30 points.
The tide has turned at Brighton Oval. It has been a demolition job in the 3rd term. Talk about a premiership quarter. This is get yourself out of relegation zone. 5 goals to zip, scoreless, nothing. Mute button on. So back to the middle. Can they get some inspiration from somewhere? Farquhar running around like a man possessed in the ruck. Just need some composure and some leaders here at ground level. St. Peter's ball goes out the back to Murphy. Kisses up to Perry. Perry with a high up and under. Goes to half forward. Beautiful mark. Strong mark by Rivers. Got one at the top of the 50 and Tarka. He can kick this from here. Goes to Lachlan Johncock. Pushed off the ball. Good work there by the defender. Mopping up. They're under duress again. That's gone. Great work there by Book. Right foot snapper will not quite make it. And unfortunately just trips to the right off the boot of Nerlich. And it's a 31-point margin here for Sportle. Doing the dishes for Hahn, Ultra Zero Carb. Great taste, Ultra Zero Carb. How good?
Oh, how good. And how good have the Bombers been? They've shown they're capable of this in fits and spurts all season. This quarter has been something else. There's Dixon, quick hands. Wasn't even facing the teammate, and he's just bitten off a bit too much. The tidal wave has crashed in this 3rd quarter. Free kick going the way of Bedford. And all of a sudden, percentage comes into the conversation. Came in today tied on percentage with Spock. And behind by 2% on Tea Tree Gully. But there's a long way to go. Dixon just takes the mark, puts the hand out, calms down. Seagal wants it on the way past. He wants a goal for his defensive efforts. Dixon says no. 3 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. They might want to avoid Lachlan Johncock when he's manned up like that, but why not kick to him? He's been a beacon up forward, intercept mark on this occasion. Taken for Spock by Teddy Newman. He's got absolutely no options, so he's just got to slam it on the boot. George, eyes for it. Dixon, but Seagal. Was it touched? Bedford comes from the back, play on. Another goal here would be just reward. It's been all the Bombers. Coming across from the side, Tarka. Oh, he couldn't get it under the arm. Spock's defensive stocks have been absolutely exposed in this 3rd quarter. It's going to come right back as here's Timmy Dixon again.
So Dixon be too far out to score. Both big men with the ponytails having some sort of impact in the airways this quarter.
He kicked one from this spot against Paynham last week, so he's capable.
So Dixon, right on the arc, goes to the hot spot. Great looking kick. Lands straight on the chest.
Wow.
Unmarked, uncontested. Well, there's a rugby terminology, too easy, camp easy, and that was on show there. And I tell you what, they are backs against the wall here, Spockos, because Brighton, huge wet sail coming straight off the Brighton beach. And it's Rivers. So Rivers will line up for goal number 5. How a man of his capabilities gets that sort of latitude inside forward 50 is beyond me. So Rivers, probably his easiest shot for this afternoon. Goal number 5. Has he got a handful in him? Yes, he does! Exclamation mark. There you go. And I tell you what, Woo, 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 woo. The fat lady has started singing in the third quarter. What an unbelievable turn of events here at the Brighton Oval. Unbelievable, Jack Moore.
We've said it once, said it twice. Brighton are capable of this kind of footy. It's just been that four-quarter effort to bring it every contest, every inside 50. But this third quarter, tell you what, when your life's on the line, and footy is a small portion of life, we know that. But for a proud club, Southern Football League heritage, trying to make their name and establish their way in recent years here in the Adelaide Footy League, well, they're stepping up with a host of players out. This man has stepped up to the plate, on ball inside 50, and he's been supported by the target. Lachlan Johncock ushered under the flight of the footy. That one's got a hit. Sheffield puts the pressure on. Boundary line wins. Free kick going the way of the Bombers. Toughest of all angles. Sheffield. Can't be much time left. He might just fancy his chances here. When you're up by 37, why not? Murphy short on that 50. He wants it. Sheffield's holding the pill like he's going to bang it close. Lachlan Johncock waits out the back. Now the skates are on. First there, he steps around one. Oh, he can't get around the second. Sammy Higgins, well done to you. To stop the hot man. He burnt the hands in the tackle, but he stopped an effort at goal. So with three-quarter time approaching, the lead is 37. Have Spock got anything left?
So Higgins high up and under it, doesn't fill your supporters with confidence. And Jarman Sigel has come into his own in this third term. And would have had a Bianco mark of the week if he'd held on right in front of our broadcast box here. So a kick after the siren. The only player in South Australia last weekend to play for Brighton and the Adelaide Crows reserves team in the same weekend. Has a shot after the siren from outside the paint. Enters the tarmac. Has he got the kick in him? Close to the man on the mark. Gives it the kitchen sink. Is it home? It is! What a wonderful goal! Jarman Single, you've got the snags. 1 kilo Jag Meatworks. There you got him.
Fire up the barbecue.
Unbelievable scenes here. Three-quarter time, Jack Moore.
Spock held scoreless in that quarter. 7-6 at half-time, 7-6 at three-quarter time. Irresistible, the Bombers. They, 7-3 at half-time, added 7-3 in that quarter. They doubled their score, Matt Gale. Brighton Bombers with Tea Tree Gully. That margin against Prince Alfred is closing. They could find themselves out of the bottom two as soon as about 35 minutes' time. This is some performance from the Bombers. There's still a lot to play out in this season, but they've put themselves not only in a winning position, but to add some much-needed percentage. We'll bring you up to date with all the scores from around the grounds. Thanks to our matchday sponsor, Filming Footy. The Bombers look to have put a margin in this game, but if they can kick 7 in a row, well, who's to say Spot can't? There's still plenty to come. Fourth quarter's coming up next on Filming Footy.
So, what an unbelievable third quarter. Spocko's up by 1 point at quarter time, 3 points at the main break, and what a demolition derby third term. 53-point leaders going into the final term. What an outstanding quarter by Brighton. We've lost the Sportal scoreboard, brought to you by Hahn on the far side. Blowing the fuses. Hopefully the scoreboard will be back. Bringing you the fourth quarter action. Jack Moore.
On that scoreboard, we've got it for you. It's a 43-point gap. Can you, if you went away at half time and you're just rejoining us, yeah, believe it. Because the Bombers are. Perry, they're not done. Tarka. He's like a dollop of cream out there. He's just rising to the top. The quality. Spock have had no answers. And around the grounds, Prince Alfred are closing in on gullies. We'll bring you an update there. Lockwood is there. Oh, he went up a week or so early there at Lachlan Johncock. He was sitting up there, had a deck chair out and gave away the free kick. Went up against Stuart Rattray, who's been pushed full back to play on Ricky by the looks. They've got to stop him somehow. Get some height. Lachlan Johncock. So Spock need to get a couple in a row in the next few minutes. If there are any chance, it's not going to help Higgins. The kick from Newman was cut off. Oh, he reached out for it. Velcro dots on the hands and taken rather fortunately by Jack Francis. 35 out, tough angle. He'll go back in the playground pocket.
Yeah, no.
The Goodwood Junior played some footy at Glenelg in the under-16s. The Westminster Old Scholars, and now in his second year with the Bombers. Now if this goes through, oh, get the icing out. Oh, get the icing out indeed. Get a few cherries and put one on top. Bombers are well and truly flying. Fueled up at half time. What did they get into them? And what were the words out of Brett Backwell's mouth? Because they have come out like a team possessed. And the margin, oh, it's 47 points.
It's 59 now. 59 points.
An incredible second half from the Bombers. And they have raced away with this one.
Sorry, it is 49 points. We'll go back to the action.
Matt's got his crystal ball out. It might be 59 if they keep on this path.
Sorry. Free
Spock,
kick.
Spock have got one last something to say about it maybe though, Matt.
So Vodris goes out wide. Should find Collie. Or is it McGill? McGill pushes one out towards the right-hand side of the 50. The Sportal scoreboard brought to you by Hahn. He's back. Strong tackling, not giving an inch there. Great tackle from Murphy. And umpire says my ball. So the Sportal scoreboard should read 15-7, 7-6. 49-point margin. Almost doubled the score, which is unbelievable really when you consider the 3-point margin they're up against at half time. A good punch over the back. Umpire's seen it as a free kick. He leant on his shoulder there of George as he come over the top as the third man up. And George has shown glimpses of promise, but is yet to hit the scoreboard. So fringe player, 8 A-grade games this season and 3 in the Magoos for the former Norwood Junior. And Harvey George, can he add some respectability into that scoreboard, which still remains scoreless from the half-time interval? All the stats brought to you by Filming Footy. Over 700 coaches using their wonderful data analysis right across Australia. He's just drifted it to the right. Tough angle for a right footer and always looked like going right for a minus score, Jack Moore.
First score for Spock in over 32 minutes of game time. Stopped to an absolute walk in that third quarter. So around the grounds, Teachery Gully have popped through a goal against Prince Alfred. Their lead now is 17. And that bottom 4 clash will keep you posted. Brighton move it out to the outer side. There seems to be an extra couple of Bombers everywhere at the moment. This man's putting himself up for the votes. Tim Dixon. And Warner has run that wing like he always does. Beautifully. Short option back if he wants it. It was Murphy, but Warner just picks off one, and gee, Jarman Seagal's pushed himself up to half forward. Now he jogs back. When it's a 50-point gap, even the full back wants a piece of the action. He bit off that snag of the day, didn't he, Matty Gale, after the siren to end that third quarter. So he's going to be enjoying some snags thanks to Jag Meatworks anyway. There's Lang. What a role player he is, Lang in there. He takes care of his opponent, goes back in and wins it. Francis is about Facey. Oh, I need him to slide in to take that. Bedford. He made his bed and he rolled over, and all of a sudden it's at the feet of Charlie Allen. He's going to be gone! Roadrunner style! Came up in the rear vision mirror. Here's Lang. Oh, and they're out the Bombers over the top of him. Moves it quickly. Francis, the most recent goal kicker. Doesn't sit. Book. He marked that. He invites a leap. No one goes up for it. Ball bounces at right angles. Lockwood and Ricky. No Pryor. Lockwood taken down. Ricky with a strong tackle. Not just a goal scorer. Dangerous area. Brighton looking to push it into the triple digits.
So strong tackling by Lachlan. Lockwood good tap, and he goes as far as Francis. He's kicked another one. Second for the quarter, third for the game. What a beautiful goal there from Jack Francis into the line-up this week. And he's made every post to win it. He won't be getting dropped next week, Jack Francis. I'll give you the strong tip. And the Sportal scoreboard. Plenty of Hans, 0 carbs on those ones. Ooh, it's lit up. It is a 9-goal margin, 54 points.
Dare say there might be a few cartons of Han Ultra Zero carbs destroyed tonight here at Bomberland. Umpire Liam Binning back in the middle as they throw it up, and safe to say Spock are cooked. 6.5 gone. It's a Brighton Bombers party, and it's starting early. A 9-goal margin, and the ball wasn't given back in time, or the umpires put their hand out for abuse. Looks like Timmy Dixon might have had a word.
Yeah, a bit of abuse.
25-metre penalty, and this one, well, safe to say, needs to fly through. Rodos from 50, put it through. Johnny Rodos, 1 down. 9 more to go for Spock to spoil the Bombers' party on the Sporto and Hahn scoreboard. 7 gone. Margin just reduced back to a semi-manageable 48 points.
Hard to see them doubling their score, Jack, but yeah, they've got to try and add some respectability, and probably more for percentage-wise. At the end of the day, this one's gone, but if they can reduce the margin to, say, keep it under 4, around 4 goals, that percentage isn't too damaged.
They came in level on percentage, so great point by you, Matt. Yep. Really important.
Yeah. So ball comes out, little Lang comes out to Allen, to Jolie, to Coley, sorry. Coley's, and there's a 25. So Blakey Higgins, Lockwood just coming in late on the contest and rightfully gives away the 25.
The frustration there.
It's got Murphy out wide, dangerous looking kick, just holds up with the win, well judged.
Lockwood's been well matched by Farquhar. He's had the best of that, has Jed Farquhar.
Particularly the third quarter, Farquhar just gave them some really important minutes in the ruck. So high up and under from Murphy. Dixon couldn't take the mark, peels out the back to Belperio under an enormous amount of duress. Dishes it off, and unfortunately he's turned it over to Lang. Ricky O'Loughlin, John Cogg just gets a touch on it, and we'll have a boundary throw in as the perceived pressure builds on the Spocks.
Whatever flavour Gatorade Ricky had at half time, I want some of that.
He's an exciting game. He's an enigma of this Division 1. He's got a lot of Charlie Cameron about him. Good punch there by Dixon, going in the direction of O'Loughlin Johncock. Keeps it, and he's kept it in, and he's hit it on the receipt of Belperio for out of bounds on the full. There's your football smarts.
It's all coming up, Ricky.
Unbelievable. That's Ricky 0101. So Belperio just in disbelief. You couldn't blame him. Del Perio is in absolute shock and disbelief. Too far out, one would think, from the playground pocket, but don't put it beyond him.
They'll send the fans into a frenzy.
Kicks from a standing start almost, hits the hot spot. Little nudge under the ball, Rivers. And that is just pure football nous. Worked him under the ball, given away the 25, takes him to the line. Guaranteed goal number 6 for Rivers. And the two forwards up front, O'Loughlin, Johncock and Rivers, all sorts of headaches. 10 goals between them now as Rivers slots through number 6. He's starting to fill up the second hand, Jack Moore.
It's his biggest goal haul of the season to date. Rivers kicked 5 against Golden Grove earlier this season. A couple of bags of 3, if you can call them bags, but 6 with 20 minutes on the clock. Well, dare I say it, not sure we've seen many kick 10 goals in Div 1 this season, but it is on the table.
He's definitely got 7 or 8.
10 might be a bit of an ask.
Yeah, might be a bit of a hard task.
Anyone can do it. Spock seem to have put the cue in the rack now. They need to keep fighting for that percentage. Tarka, he's never held. Always keeps a hand free. Mini Torb. Here he is. He's unselfish though, Rivers. He'll look for the best option. Ricky dive for it. Oh, he went down like a beaver coming out of the ground. Still picking himself up, Ricky. He's run himself out of every last sinew. He's strained it. Ty Murphy's been good and they've just going to maintain possession. Next target down the wing is Higgins. But Cheeseman Dutton just holds it up. He wants a couple of touches, does Cheeseman Dutton. Plays his defensive role to perfection. Doesn't get much of the footy though. And he might get himself a third touch in the space of 30 seconds. He's manned up now though. This one's going to go long down the line. Spock have gotten back. Scything kicking action coming up to fist it away from Nerlich. That was Reed. He's been held quiet, put the Jets on and moves it away. Rodos, only goal of this second half for Spock. Should have held that. Should have dragged it in. Pushed down. George dropped the mark. And a free kick going the way of that goal scorer of Rodos. So the margin being as it is, might just have earned the right to go back and look for a second.
A bit unlucky there, Nerlich, I thought, but them's the breaks.
43rd game for Spock for Rodos. 6th goal in game 14 this season. Ever present. Played some footy at Uni Blacks in the Victorian Amateur League, Darwin in the NTFL and Rovers in the Central Australian Footy League. And that's a pretty fine looking kick. Nice and straight, but just off target. And they're off very quickly. Here's Seagal, 40 out from the defensive goal. Harnon's portal scoreboard, 12 minutes gone. Brighton's margin is 53 points.
So they've turned it over. Can they get it back? They do. Just clearing the ball with ease at the moment. Trying to take a one-hander just to keep it in there. It was Jack Francis on the far side. And has to hand the ball over.
Prince Alfred have stormed back. They've taken the lead from Tea Tree Gully. Can you believe that?
Unbelievable scenes out there at the gully.
So if that holds, Brighton a win here could find themselves in 8th tonight.
So Bedford high, up and under, long, raking ball. Double taker. A little Bianco moment there for Jimmy Higgins. Too far out. Still undecided. Just drops it to the top of the 50 with a Stephen Kernahan helicopter. Good punch away there by Loy. Boy comes to ground. Some good work there by Evans. Got runners outside in Francis. They're queuing up again. Take your pick. Pick your poison. Francis, ball almost bounces over his head. He's got that much time. And McGill chimes in for a little, almost courageous, but a much needed mark in the last line of defence there.
McGill, the only junior, plays some footy at UTS Bats in Sydney, and inside 50 George. He got hands to it, but he's wrapped up immediately, and they don't want to concede another goal. The back 6 of the Bombers. Tarker and Warner just hovering off the back of this. Inside 50 for Spock. George goes in the ruck unopposed. Taps to nobody in particular. Coming through Lang. He's been arguably one of their best on ballers. There's Tarker getting involved. He handed it off to Murphy, who kept running. Green boots. It's a blur of fluoro brilliance. Kick wasn't great. And coming back the other way, Stuart Rattray. Here's Reid, couple of goals to his name. Flying in front. Seagal couldn't take it with him. Lang again, he's just racking up those stats. Venning. And now Evans at full-back. Lead 53. Gullies have just kicked a goal there, back in front. So the bottom of the table is switching up before our eyes. What a result this is for the Bombers. Lang had his, Book had his body taken out, but he bounced up like a rubber ball. Bouncing back to you. And the tackle from Charlie Allen over the top. Held it in. Cheeseman Dutton picks himself up. Lockwood gives it back to the umpire. Ball up. We've played 15 and a half, 15 minutes. Brighton lead by 53 as they flirt with the boundary, and the boundary wins.
So Allen hasn't stopped trying. Led from the front. So Sting's definitely out of this one. Plays open up in this last quarter. 8.5 remaining. Coley just tries to kick in, hope more than anything, inside forward 50. Some strong work there by Allen, who's wrapped up immediately. They'll have another ball up. Left half, or left pocket there for St. Peter's Old Collegian. And again, just trying to add some respectability to the scoreboard. And a bit of junk time now. So Lang tackled out of it, ball's dispossessed. Smart kick by Coley. Goes to the pocket, looking for a kind bounce. Hasn't been their day on the second up. Somehow kept in play. Can they snare one from somewhere here? Right foot snapper. Drifts to the right off the boot of Malachi Carruthers for a minor score. Sportal scoreboard 17-7, 109 to 8-9, 57. 52-point margin. 16 down, final turn.
Div 1 Adelaide Footy League. The crunch end of this season. This one was a massive game for both teams. Had some respectability now. Spock Allen, he's been their best. Hands it off. Simple snapshot, but the pressure was on. Can't score. Brighton will take it. Prince Alfred are back in front against Tea Tree Gully. That one like a seesaw on filming footy. Massive ramifications. If Gullies were to win, Brighton would still find themselves in the relegation spots. Dixon, oh, he's been sensational. Wrapped up and he's going nowhere because the tackle from Scotty Nerlich stuck like glue. Umpire Rob Kane. Umpires have been pretty fair and good. Very open contest. Stuart Rattray, it's a hit and hope. Allen goes back, didn't touch the Sharon in the end. Moving it through Bennett, through hands, Francis. Warner put himself in the lazy Susan, didn't take the footy though. Oh, handball intercepted. Out the back, sorted out, and they're in again. Tarka, Ricky on the treadmill, but he's chasing back. Lang picks it up, mismatch. He found himself with contact, Tarka, taken out, and now it's a title fight. Winning the day on the rare occasion, Spock, and they move it out. Here's the vice-captain, Nick McGill.
Well, that was as bad in the back as I've seen all day, and the umpire must have just had something in his eyes there, I must admit. But back to the action. Sitting under the ball, courageous mark in the end.
Mini Bianco there for the courage.
Oh, great work. I'm not sure if that was Dutton Cheeseman Dutton. Geez, they turned it over here. Oh, here's a battle of the David and the Goliath. Lang and he's gone there, Lang. So some smart there by Johnny Reid. It could have been us. Oh, I thought he played on there, Johnny Reid. Consider himself unlucky there, Jack Francis, because he didn't initiate the movement off his mark. But maybe there was two men on the mark there, Jack Moore, I'm not quite sure.
This will be his fourth of the day. Only one who can probably hold his head high in this in the all-round game.
So Johnny Reid from the paint, drifting early, not going to make the distance either. One for the high flies, comes out the back. Then they sneak a goal here, and the pressure meter's there from Jack Lloyd. He hasn't had a lot to do in the second half, mind you. 5.5 to go. Good work there over the top, third man up. Not giving anything here, Brighton. Quick snap out of that contest. Through for a minor score. So peppering the goals last few minutes, St. Peter's, without reward for effort. Sportal scoreboard. It is a 51-point margin, 109 to 58. 19 down, final turn.
This is going to be their biggest victory for a long time, the Bombers. Biggest of the year. And the biggest in the last 2 seasons as well. Didn't have a win of more than 5 goals last year either. And their biggest coming into this of their 3 wins was against Prince Alfred by 37. 1-point wins against Tea Tree Gully and 3-point win against Golden Grove. So a day to fill their boots out there for the Bombers. Free kick going the way of Allen. Charlie Allen. Always uses it pretty smartly. This is a chiseling kick marked by De Cesare. He's been in and out. A few options running beside him. No choice now but to bang it on and get a couple of goals to edge that percentage back their way. But Brighton are there in numbers like they have been all second half. Here comes Rivers. Can't quite get there in the in today. Grant uses it well. Finds Facey, who we've called quite a bit. Mitchum Jr. started the season in the reserves. Finds himself in the seniors at the back end of the season. It's a good sign for his future at Spock. Nice spoil coming across from Bennett. Here's Sheffield. He's pickpocketed. Should be rushed through. Oh, picked up by George. Yes, please. One for the road for the men in blue. Just to cheer up those travelling supporters. Few and far between here at Brighton Oval with the Sporto Enhanced scoreboard. 17-7, 109. Spock 9-10, 64. 45-point difference. What an afternoon for the Bombers.
That was a great reward there for Harvey George. He's tried valiantly up forward without much reward. And up not huge in the disposals column, but effort has been quite high. So back to the middle, we've got Dixon up against, I'm sure Lockwood would love some of his locks at the moment. Back to the middle, Dixon gets the tap, good tap, running through the middle there was Vodris. Coming out the back, can they steal another one? Off hands, should get rushed through. And off the boot there of Venning for a minor score. Rush behind, of course. Next couple of weeks coming up for Brighton. Tea Tree Gully away next week. Port District's at home in round 17 and Broadview away in round 18. Whereas we've got St Peter's Old Collegians. Broadview at home next week. Glenunga at home the following week. And Port District's away. No easy games for both sides. But a potential winnable couple there on the table for the Brighton Bombers. So, looks like he might even go the torpedo. Goes the long ranger. Awkward, ugly looking kick, and it's probably summarised the second half here for St Peter's.
And the barriers fly back from half back, but one of them didn't open and Rivers was caught like a pig in the mud there. Oh, got 2 hands to it and didn't mark it because he was whacked over the shoulder. So a bit of late repatriation on the scoreboard for Spock. They'll get a couple of chances to add to their tally. It's been a sick and sorry second half though. 7 goals at half time, 9 now, and Brighton have kicked 10 goals in this half. It's been scintillating. It was that third quarter really. 3 goal to 2 in this last term, make it 3 apiece. And a beautiful goal for the road for Fergus Carruthers. He'll take it, put it in his back pocket. The Payneham Junior has 9 for the season. Margin back to 38 points. But teams at the bottom half of this table, it is usually that one quarter that separates them. And today it was that third quarter for the Bombers. 7 goals to zip. Prince Alfred have hit the front. 23 minutes gone. This could be a night of celebration down at Brighton Oval tonight.
So back to the middle. Bit of a stalemate in this ruck. Great work there by Lang. Gives to Warner. Warner goes in the direction of Rivers. Geez, he's been outstanding. The best man on the ground this afternoon. Taken high there with Sheffield. We saw the Sheffield Coley match up, the Coley reserve, where they do have the Bay Sheffield. I didn't get time to get that one out there.
Should be in the reserves
goes in
then.
The still gift, apparently, old Sheffield. in the final. He's been in the final of the Stall Gift. So Sheffield started the season at the Henley Sharks. He's transferred over. Pops one in the pocket in direction of Tarka. Geez, he's got an extraordinary leap for such a small man. Spring-heeled. And I don't think the book was really up to reading that one. He just sort of let it go through over the line, as casual as you like. So Dying Stages, final turn. What an outstanding second half it has been for the Brighton Bombers. 1:39 remaining. With the timekeeper right in front of us here. Bedford has played well. Been one of the better players for the Spockos. He's got a switch on. Goes out wide to McGill. Nice mark. Pops one over the top. He's got one down the line. Goes longer. To find Sammy Higgins. Sammy Higgins pops one over the top. Ball should trickle out. And does for last possession out of bounds. And it's almost good night from me and good night from him.
Dying stages of an impressive performance. Held their own in the first half. Put the foot down third quarter. 17 goals, 7 as well. That's something to be very happy with. So many occasions the behinds have been the problem for the Bombers. Here's Warner. Is that Warner down at full back? He's come out for it. Left it behind. Clear message in the second half of this fourth quarter just to not concede much more. Brett Backwell knows the percentage is going to be a factor as we tick down to the final 3 weeks. That game, Brighton and Tea Tree Gully next week, I tell you what, all eyes on that, because at the moment, as it stands, it'll be an 8th versus 9th battle. Oh, bang! Package that one up and send it into Fox for the bounce. Just getting it out of the vicinity, and the high fives down there, and well-earned high fives for Loy. Loy and Cheeseman, Dudden and Evans certainly playing their roles as the last line of defence in this second half, keeping Spock out. George and Dixon. Dixon wants a fist for himself. Kick smothered, Bedford's there. And he's been a bright spark. Really handy inclusion this season for the Spockos. Mini Bianco effort, couldn't take it with him. Boundary umpire will have one last throw in as we tick under a minute left in this game. It's been a comprehensive win. The Bombers will take it. They're up by 38.
90 seconds remaining. Ball thrown in. Can they sneak one last goal here? St. Peter's gone the old 7:20. Nothing paid by the umpire. And there we have it. Siren sounds. And that's as impressive as you like from the Brighton Bombers. Their best win for a long time under the reins of Brett Backwell. 17-7. 109 to 10-11, 71. And what an impressive performance, particularly the second half. Obliterated St. Peter's on the scoreboard and did the absolute dishes on them, Jack Moore.
Yeah, first half we thought we were in for an absolute arm wrestle. 4 goals apiece quarter time, 7 goals apiece half time. We've mentioned before though, Spock scoreless third term. Brighton banged on 7 of their own, and it was a day out for the likes of Rivers, O'Loughlin, John Cock. Rivers with 6, Ricky with 4. Seagull after the 3/4 time siren, our Jag Meatworks goal of the day. Tarka, a slightly quiet day in front of goals, but he was instrumental on ball and set up a lot of their forward thrusts and goals going the way of Sheffield, also and Nerlich in the first quarter. As for Spock, their goals came from Bedford, Stuart Rattray, Michaels. They were out to a 4-1 lead in that first quarter. We thought, geez, Brighton might be destined for the drop, but they fought back. Reid added 2 in the second quarter for 3 on the day. Charlie Allen, a goalless third quarter, of course, and Rodos and George just resembling some sort of parity in that fourth quarter. But it's the Bombers who will celebrate tonight in their bottom of the table quest for survival. Prince Alfred have recorded a win against Tea Tree Gully, which means for the first time this season, the Bombers will be out of the relegation zone in 8th position and Tea Tree Gully at 9th. And next week, Tea Tree Gully versus Brighton, match of the year.
It's going to be an impressive last few minor rounds. A lot of 4-point games on the table, particularly for the relegation zone contenders or survival. But more importantly, as they walk off the field to the cheer of the local faithful, and that is an outstanding performance. Backs against the wall, inspirational. Almost run out of superlatives, Jack Moore.
Well deserved. They've got Wellsby out this week, hamstring injury last week. They've had Shane Harvey out for most of the season now, and their captain wasn't there.
Yeah, we've got Otis Carthy. I spoke to him before the game. He's been trotting around with a fracture in his fibula.
Wow.
Undiagnosed. Probably wasn't diagnosed correctly. And, he's out for the remainder of the season in the moon boot.
And to turn around this result, Spock got the better of them by 16 points. Only kicked 8 goals earlier in the season in round 6. So to kick 17 goals, 7. We mentioned during the call that Brighton have kicked more behinds than goals in 10 of their 14 games. So it just goes to show when you take your chances in front of goal, put it on the scoreboard, fast ball movement, take the first option. These Brighton Bombers, 3 digits for the first time this season, and they're putting their case forward to be in this div for next season. Our award winners, of course, will settle those 3, 2 and 1 votes, and we'll keep you hanging. Between the posts, tune in. Tuesday nights, Adelaide Footy League Facebook page, but a few nominations for those 3, 2 and 1. Rivers, of course, with 6. O'Loughlin Johncock took home 4 goals of his own, and instrumental as always Tarka. Warner was pretty good. Sheffield ran all day. Jed Farquhar in the ruck. On the Spock side of things, Eddie Allen and Charlie Allen didn't give up. Good 4-quarter effort from John Vrodos, but it's going to be hard to find space for any Spock player in the votes this afternoon, Matt.
Certainly will be. I think we've just you've hit the notes really nicely there, Jack, because he was the main difference in the game today. Will Rivers, 6 goals, and when the game was there to be won, particularly in the first half, he was the best forward on the ground, him and Johnny Reid, but he just went to another level in the third term. And if you get some support staff around him, support players, have really got a strong structure moving forward. But yeah, he was outstanding today. Will Rivers with 6 goals, and Ricky O with the 4. It's going to be hard to give the 3-2-1, but tune in to Tommy Javor Tuesday night. That will be released, that new episode. So thank you very much for joining us. Big thank you to Filming Footy Stats, powered by Dartfish. Footy Stats powered by Dartfish is the premium choice platform for local level, country and metropolitan clubs across Australia. They provide analytical data for all sports, and in football there are over 700 coaches nationally utilising the Dartfish analytics to improve their coaching, provide feedback, analyse themselves and the opposition. Our data is unique in providing grassroots football coaches heat maps inside 50 data point of origin, team and individual statistical leader boards for teams, leagues and plus so much more. So for a playlist package with vision to match, get in touch with the crew down there at Filming Footy, and they're powered by Dartfish. It's been a magnificent game, a brilliant first half, which was close, as you've seen, really high quality. We didn't really know to expect, but we were blown away by the Brighton home team, who just went into cruise control and obliteration mode in the second half. And that third quarter is as good as footy we've seen for Filming Footy and Sports Interactive this year. Gives us great pleasure. We'll probably give the snag of the day to Jarman Segal for his 3-quarter time goal. Unbelievable that he actually played for the Brighton Bombers and Adelaide Crows top-up reserves player last week. He just loves the big moments. You can see why he's been earmarked in that limelight, Jack Moore.
It's the difference between the top 3 or 4 players in any certain team or league. They love the big moments, as you said, Matt, and he took his opportunity on the edge of that, after the third quarter siren. I should say the game was well and truly won. He thought, I'll go back and smash it through from 60, and so he did. Looking ahead to next week quickly, St. Peter's and Broadview. St. Peter's now in last place. They need to win that game. Golden Grove and Prince Alfred at Harpers Field. Payneham and Port should be a great match, and Sacred Heart Glenunga in a top-of-the-table blockbuster. But for survival reasons, Teachery Gully at home to Brighton Bombers. Gullies have been 9th tonight, Bombers 8th, only separated by 1 premiership point. Plenty of mouth-watering matches. You can see them all next week, live right here on Filming Footy. That's all for us from Brighton Oval. Thanks to our production team back in the head office, Barnaby, our camera operator, Matt Gale, and myself, Jack Moore. Hope you enjoyed the match today. If you're of a Brighton persuasion, you're going to have a fantastic night. They're out of the relegation zone with 3 weeks of the season left. We'll see you next week.